This is TechKnow, a show about innovations that can change lives.
The science of fighting a wildfire.
We're going to explore the intersection of hardware and humanity, and we're doing it in a unique way. This is a show about science by scientists. Let's check out our team of hardcore nerds. I'm Phil Torres, I'm an entomologist. Tonight, sharks. Most people avoid sharks, we're out to meet them.
Oh my God, it's big.
Tag them. Learn all about them.
Sharks don't eat people.
5 days and nights at sea on our specially rigged floating shark laboratory.
Got a pregnant one.
The extraordinary research is next. Lindsay Moran is an ex-CIA operative and analyst. Dr. Shinny Somara is a mechanical engineer. And Dr. Crystal Dilworth is a molecular neuroscientist. That's our team. Now let's do some science. Hello, welcome to TechKnow. I'm Phil Torres, joined by Lindsay Moran, Dr. Shinny Somara, and Dr. Crystal Dilworth. Now guys, I just got back from one of the most exciting weeks of my life, and it was all for science. Now here's a question for you. Would you jump on a 14-foot, 1-ton tiger shark? Well, that's what I got the opportunity to do with these researchers based out of the University of Miami. We went on a boat to the Bahamas and caught 15 of these sharks in the name of science and in the name of conserving them. So let's take a look.
Shark on.
Shark. The very name inspires wonder and fear, vilified as the world's ultimate killing machine. But their bad boy image is all wrong, according to these guys.
I haven't had a single aggressive shark in over 35 years of swimming with them on a daily basis.
Jim Abernathy owns a scuba diving business known for its shark dives near West Palm Beach, Florida. If there's a shark around, you're likely to find Jim in the water with a camera.
That was fun.
We have 400 billion years of sharks shaping our ocean's health, and in the last 50 years, in my watch, we have literally destroyed it.
1 in 6 of all sharks that have been assessed are threatened with extinction.
Dr. Neil Hammerschlag is also passionate about protecting sharks. He runs the R.J. Dunlap Marine Conservation Lab at University of Miami. One of his primary missions, studying sharks in the wild, so policymakers can make good conservation decisions based on science.
I really can't express in words the value that Jim brings to a project like this.
He relies on Jim for his shark savvy.
He can get us to the sharks, he can figure out what the best conditions are, and he can help us design and analyze the results of our study based on his knowledge of these animals' behaviors.
This is where you're likely to find Neil when he's in the field, making sure the shark and his team are safe while they gather data. They're getting ready for a 5-day expedition off the shores of the Bahamas. The goal? To tag and track up to 20 tiger sharks, the largest predatory sharks in the tropics. And TechKnow was invited along for the mission.
People ask me often, why sharks? Why should we care? As an apex predator, meaning nothing eats them, they live at the top of the food pyramid, they play an important ecological role. When you remove that large predator, there can be this domino effect other members of the community. Yeah, you have the physiology kit stacked, right?
I joined Neil and his team at their lab in Miami as they packed their research gear.
It's better to be a little over-prepared than under-prepared when you're in the middle of the ocean dealing with tiger sharks, so.
Then we headed south to hook up with Jim and his crew aboard the Shearwater.
So this is gonna be your home for the next week. This area can take multiple rooms. The ultimate shark diving boat.
This will be my new home.
Yep.
After a rough overnight passage through the Gulf Stream, we headed to our destination, a special place called Tiger Beach. It's not a beach. In fact, it's about 20 miles offshore, but it's got plenty of tigers.
This place is almost entirely dominated by large female sharks, which is really interesting. Why would there not be males here? Could it be related to reproduction?
As we reach the location, everything has to be prepped and ready to go. Then we set out the baits.
Bait in the water. Woo! That is nice looking fish.
Once all 8 lines are set, we wait for the sharks to bite. Sometimes they don't.
Not even crabs eating it? That's insulting.
Then suddenly, a sighting. And everyone swings into action.
Yes, baby! First tiger of the trip!
Look at that.
Oh my God, it's big. We're fishing with these drum lines. And what the drum lines allow the shark to do is, when they're hooked, is swim in these 100-foot large circles. That means they're not like fighting and impairing their movement. Wait, get it, walk it up, walk it up. Come on. Give it line, give it line, give it line, give it line, give it line.
Oh my gosh. That is
Remember, we're gonna get the section. Move out of the way, move out of the way. Where's the tail rope?
Flip it over. Bring it up.
Get the tail rope. Wait, Austin, I want to get the tail rope on.
Oh my gosh.
Can you cut the engine? All right, let's get it on. Ready? Christian, you ready to come on? Right after me. Okay, guys, it's a female. Come on the other side. Get that. Be careful. Hold that tail out. Get the tail out of the water.
They've been trying to pull this thing in for about 10 minutes now. It is
Just tie it around.
huge. It is a
Got it
tiger
to
shark,
text
the
through
first
the
one of the expedition.
side of the loop, so it's,
Everybody's really excited.
Get that head up. First one's always the toughest. Okay, it's on. You ready, Austin? You're gonna be so big. Okay, let that go. Let's get that pump in. We insert this pump into their mouth, and that's great because one thing, they get to bite down on something, it makes them feel better about it. But 2, it's artificially helping them breathe, pumping constantly this freshly oxygenated salt water in their mouth over the gills. All right, guys, let's go with ultrasound.
Carolyn Wheeler is an undergrad at the University of New England Sulikowski Shark and Research Lab. She is one of the most crucial jobs, using this veterinarian's ultrasound to see if the shark is pregnant.
On the tiger sharks, it's tough because they are so massive that we can't get the whole uterus usually in one shot.
The ultrasound showed this shark wasn't pregnant. The next major task, surgery, to implant this acoustic transmitter inside the shark.
These tags themselves are really small. It's the size of a AA battery, but it has enough battery power to transmit these ultrasonic signals for 7 years while the animal's out there swimming.
Then the shark is flipped over. Dr. Duncan Ershik, a morphologist at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, takes detailed measurements.
Tiger sharks, which are predatory sharks that are really built for, in many cases, ambush, and so they are built for short bursts of speed.
So when you're looking at the morphology of a tiger shark, what can you tell me about it and its behavior?
Probably the most distinctive thing that you'll notice is the large, blunt head and the very unique teeth morphology they have. Tiger sharks are known to eat turtles, they're known to eat larger predums, such as other sharks, so their teeth are really almost designed like a can opener.
Blood and fin samples are also taken before the hook is removed from the mouth and the shark is released.
Tails free, are you ready?
The whole process takes about 20 minutes.
1, 2, 3.
The health was spectacular. It swam down to the bottom, leveled right off, and went off. And Jason stayed with it for an unbelievable amount of time while I was gasping for air.
How would you say that went?
I think it went extraordinarily well. It's always a bit of a learning curve with an animal that's over 1 ton and doesn't really want to be on the stern of a boat.
The acoustic transmitter implanted into that shark will help Neil track its every move in Tiger Beach. How? By sending a signal to one of these.
This is the hydrophone, the electronic ear designed to listen for the ping and the transmitter. That lets us know that one of the tiger sharks that we tagged is nearby.
This trip, Dr. Hammerschlag hopes to install a total of 32 hydrophones located throughout Tiger Beach.
Each receiver is going to tell you when it's detected a shark with a timestamp that allows you to analyze that data to see patterns in the presence or absence in sharks around a particular receiver or hydrophone.
Right now, the week's work has just begun. Another shark is on the platform, and one test has everybody guessing. taken me a while to develop my sea legs aboard the shearwater. Rough seas make the smallest task a challenge. But before long, I'm right at home. Of course, I still have to cope with the hazards of the job.
Now, I've always heard that shark skin is rough like sandpaper, but working here with these guys, I found out firsthand just how rough it is.
But it's all for science. We're trying to unlock the mysteries of one of the world's top predators.
A holy grail of a lot of our shark work is to determine some of these areas that they might be using for mating or gestating or, giving birth, and to be able to kind of in real time determine, okay, are these animals pregnant is really interesting. Oh, it's unbelievable.
In October, Dr. Hammerslag tagged 20 tiger sharks in Tiger Beach. 11 of them were pregnant females. Check out this ultrasound from one of those sharks. You can see a pup's 2 eyes and mouth.
This place seems particularly important for pregnant tiger sharks. Why do you think that is?
I think what's happening is sharks are spending their 10 to 15-month gestation period in these warm waters.
But this time, pregnant females are harder to come by.
Not pregnant.
Meanwhile, the crew has another innovation to try out. A custom platform Dr. Hammerslag helped design.
Keep that line on Clearwater, walk it over to the starboard side.
It's an experiment he hopes will make the research easier on the sharks and the crew.
The reason I like the platform is because it's a lot bigger. You can walk all around it. The other very positive thing, and I know, Jim, you'll probably really be happy about this, is it's about 6 inches underwater, so that's really good.
Okay, guys, it is a tiger shark.
It's not long before the platform is put to the test by an 11.5-foot female tiger shark.
Watch your feet.
Stand on this end and walk it over, okay?
Since the shark is dorsal fin up, a tissue sample from the fin and measurements are taken first. Then, blood is drawn. It will provide a wealth of information, the kind scientists used to get only by sacrificing the shark.
In the past, if you want to know what a shark is eating, you would cut it open and look in its stomach. Now we're using fin clips and blood that we can look at the chemical signature of their blood to learn what they're eating.
The shark is flipped over, and Carolyn Wheeler begins her ultrasound.
Really pregnant. Really pregnant. Sorry.
We got a pregnant one.
Inside this big bloated tiger shark belly are a bunch of baby sharks, which is really exciting. It's the first female that we found today that's pregnant. Now, we also need to track where they're going in this area so we can understand their breeding behaviors. So right now, that's what they're doing. They're doing a surgery to implant an acoustic transmitter that's going to give really precise detail.
Because she's pregnant, she's fitted with a second tracking device, a satellite tag to track her movements beyond Tiger Beach.
Satellite tags we're bolting to the fins that have, no nerves, just cartilage. We're using medical-grade titanium to hold it on, and that degrades, making sure that, that tag will fall off eventually. And
We're done here.
there you go.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! 1, 2, 3, push, and let her go. Let her go.
Come on, you can watch the tail.
I'd like him to go to the side of me. That would ran right into me.
Pregnancy! That tag.
Your job, Emily.
Woo! That was awesome.
The team will follow her wherever she goes on Google Earth. Of course, I had to check out the ultrasound.
So you can see these kind of definitive circles. So like this is a pup here, this would be a pup here.
Tiger sharks have 2 uteri. This ultrasound shows some of the pups in just one of them.
Now, I'm counting maybe 3 or 4 pups in just that area. How many total do you think there are?
There definitely could be a lot more. As you can see, they kind of come in and out of focus, so it can be really difficult to count. I'm, on this one, approximating around 10 per side, so probably 20 total.
Shark on, shark on.
Should we finish this up?
Time to swing back in action. There was a lot of action over the course of 3 days. the team had caught a total of 15 sharks.
I know we call it Tiger Beach, but this ain't no beach holiday.
This shark, caught on day 3, turned out to be pure gold for research. She was a female the team had tagged before in October on their last expedition to Tiger Beach.
This is their first recaptured shark of the trip, and when they found it in October, it was pregnant. So now we get to find out what happened after that.
Ultrasound we just did showed that she's not pregnant now. So that's actually really exciting. That means that we can use the acoustic tag data to see where she's gone to give birth.
How huge is that data point for you guys?
Oh my gosh, that data point is, it is to some extent a holy grail for the type of science we're doing. When Austin screamed, this is a recapture, I couldn't believe it. I was just thinking, I hope it's, one of our sharks. This is why we're here, to try to determine things like their nursery grounds, because if we can protect those important areas, we can have a substantial conservation impact on these animals.
There are over 100 million sharks being killed every year, not just for food, but as bycatch. So something needs to be done, and you can't conserve an animal unless you know something about it. And sharks are such mysteries. As big as they are and as much as they're talked about, we know very little about them.
Are they starting to see tangible results that can then be adapted to actually take conservation measures?
I think so. I think especially with looking at why is Tiger Beach important. They had hypotheses, but now they're starting to get evidence that could really point to, okay, maybe this is important for when the female is pregnant, come there, to be warmer, increase her gestation, maybe to get more food. All of these things that they've been toying around with, I think now they're starting to get some solid answers.
So Phil, how dangerous is that work? I've noticed a wound on your hand.
Yeah, I probably should have covered up a bit more. Shark skin is incredibly rough, and it's basically like sandpaper. And at the time, you don't really notice it, but afterwards, my shins were all cut up. You can actually see here on my Instagram, it was, I was bleeding for science. But that was kind of my own fault because I should have been wearing a wetsuit.
Sharks have this reputation for being these aggressive animals that are coming to eat us all, but it seems like that's not really the case.
Yeah, going into this piece, I had a certain opinion about sharks and the danger of them. And what I realized, and what you'll see in part 3, is the passion behind these people and the evidence when they're out there petting these sharks in the ocean. It convinced me, and now I love them.
Sharks are nice, and the world doesn't know this.
Jim Abernathy loves sharks, and he wants you to love them too. That's one of the reasons he became a pioneer in cage-free shark diving, offering people the chance to encounter them up close in the wild.
It's up to those of us that have that ability, that really know what's going on, to project them the way they truly need to be projected, so we can protect what we love, because we only protect what we love.
What myths are you trying to dispel?
But I wish that we could put a stop to the monster shark thing. Almost every animal on the planet attacks and kills more people than sharks. Dogs in America bite somebody every 40 seconds and kill 16 people a year. But we don't have Dog Week, do we? In Florida, we have a dozen fatalities from vending machines, but we don't have Vending Machine Week.
He shot most of the underwater video you've seen here. You were bitten a couple years ago by a shark. Are you ever concerned about your safety?
No, I'm not concerned at all. The shark that actually bit me happened while I was tending to the bait, so I had hundreds of pounds of bait in my hands in rough seas. It bit me in the right arm and released me. So this further proved to me that sharks don't eat people. The only way that they're going to bite someone is a case of mistaken identity.
I don't know why she's so fat. She just coughed up a turtle beak. Shut up! Look! Oh my gosh, guys, check this out!
They're feeding on turtles in the Bahamas.
Wasn't she gorgeous?
His crew are all divers who run the shearwater and take care of its passengers, including us. They all want to spread the same tiger shark love.
I really feel more like the tiger sharks are pets. We name these guys: Emily, Emma, Stephanie, Julia, and they come by and there's food in the water and they just want us to rub their little noses. I wish everybody could appreciate them for what they are.
A big smile comes across my face as soon as I see them. nothing else matters.
You know, the last week we hadn't seen Julia for a while, and she showed up on the third or fourth day, and I remember just, yay, all right, she's here. It's kind of embarrassing now that I think of it.
Your crew gives affection to sharks on a daily basis. That sounds crazy.
The reason we started doing that was because years ago, I was trying to remove the hooks from the sharks without pulling them out of the water. And I quickly realized that sharks like affection. And I could give a shark a head massage, so to speak. And then eventually, when it was very, very trusting, I could pull it in close to my face where I could see the hook right in its jaw and very simply pull it out. It doesn't take very long to figure out that Neil really loves sharks.
Don't put too much pressure and make sure she can get to it, okay?
He's answering the questions that the nonprofits need in order to put the right rules into place where it can be very impactful for the future of sharks worldwide.
Dr. Hammerschlag is hoping his research at Tiger Beach will help him answer some of those questions. Do you have any data on the shark that we recaptured?
Sure do. That was the first thing that I looked at. If you look at her data, what does that tell you?
She stuck around. She was there a lot.
She was there from when we tagged her to now. And we know that sometime between when we last saw her and now, she gave birth.
If she was there the whole time, is there a possibility she gave birth on Tiger Beach?
You know, if you look, there's some days where there's a gap in the data by, you know, just a handful of days. So question is, did she quickly move off, give birth, and then come back to Tiger Beach? You know, I can't really put my finger on it yet, but I think if I play around with some more data, hopefully get some more recaptures, you can already see the puzzle pieces coming together, I think.
So when the shark is up here and you guys are processing it, it looks like that's where all the research happens. But then it swims away and it doesn't end there.
No, definitely not. I mean, what you're seeing is just the precursor. Right now, while we're having this conversation, the sharks are doing my work for me in collecting data.
You know, it brought me back to my days in the rainforest. I just love that feeling of working with a team and working hard in these tough physical conditions. I was just amazed. There were two young women there who were juniors in college and are out there doing this work. I'm always really amazed with science careers because a lot of young people out there don't quite realize what they could be doing as their summer job when they're 20.
Phil, that was some incredible footage. How did we get that? What was the setup?
It was awesome. You know, we were shooting above water. We got some slow-mo above water. We were shooting in the water. Jim Abernathy had this great setup in there. So just the perspective angles they were getting, and the fact that we caught 15 sharks and processed 15 sharks. So each time the cameras could kind of focus on a different aspect of the operation.
So I'm guessing shark fin soup was not on the menu in your trip?
Absolutely not. No, they were quite against. All their shirts actually said, "Don't eat shark fin soup." They were very upfront about that. But keeping down the food, I was very thankful to have Bonine. It was a really good seasickness medicine that, surprisingly, I did all right.
Well, it was a wonderful journey you were able to take us all on, so thank you so much for jumping on that shark and taking us with you.
Well, thank you guys for having a listen, and really, I hope it affected you as much as it affected me, and my view on sharks, completely different. I love those big guys. We'll see you next week here on TechKnow.
Dive deep into these stories and go behind the scenes at aljazeera.com/techknow. Follow our expert contributors on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and more.